All right, kidlets. Mr. Mark's coming to you here all scruffy. I haven't shaved in a while. I'm wearing my old man farmer hat. Coming to you for another episode of Roxbury Science. The driftless area. It's kind of hard to talk because it's freaking cold out. Who says it's supposed to be this cold in April, whatever, 15th or 16th? Anyway, bringing you another episode of Roxbury Science from the edge of the driftless area. And so what I am going to do really quick, this is going to tie in a couple of things with forestry and going back to the geology portion of field ecology, is that finishing up with the forestry, there's a part where we talk about succession, okay? And we also talk about, earlier in the unit, we talked about how, you know, the different vegetation will cause the different amount of humus to grow in the hill, that kind of stuff. But anyway, just to give you an idea, I thought about it, and I remember getting you know, this is a Christmas gift from my mother back in 1993, and look how sweet my mom was. Look at that, that's kind of cool. She wrote this, that's her handwriting, 1993. She passed away about 4 years ago. Oh my God, no, 10 years ago. Anyway, she wrote this note, certified, blah, blah. The whole thing has all the pictures of our family history. There's my grandma and grandpa, blah, blah, blah. It's got everything in here. But anyway, she did all this stuff, and there's, like I said, it goes all the way back to, oh my God, it goes back to my grandfather. Here's my grandfather right there. Anyway, going all the way back to the 1890s, and there's a Roxbury with him building wagons. Anyways, I gotta move on. I remember there was a picture in here, a couple of them, that my dad always used to show us, of him on his horse. One of the draft horses is about 1940, probably 1939. One of the draft horses, him out watching the cattle in the field. There's another picture of him with my Uncle Vince, his brother. Anyway, if you notice, the background is what we talked about that Wisconsin sort of looked like a long time ago. Now, what I mean by that is that I remember when they first came here, Wisconsin was nothing but a huge, like, oak savanna prairie. And, well, what did we stop doing? What did my dad's father, my grandfather stopped letting it happen? Was they stopped all the fires from happening. So as it slowly occurred, the hills in the background, you can see in this picture here, they, you know, they're actually, oh, the stupid sun. They're really void of a lot of trees. There's some growing on the top. Now, when they first got here, there really would be no trees on top of that. And a lot of those trees are oaks and red cedars that can handle the really dry conditions. And here maybe is a better picture off to the side. God, I hope that's focusing. I can't see diddly. Freaking sunlight. So anyway, oh my God, my hands are freezing. Anyway, it shows what it used to look like a long time ago. And I thought it was kind of cool because it's right where I live. And now what I'm going to show you is, hopefully you can pick this up. Look at the difference in the hills now. Okay, I'm standing almost in the exact same spot that photograph was taken probably 80 years ago. And in 80 years, you can see, and I hate to zoom in because of my stupid camera lenses are busted, but you can see the hills over there. They look a bit different. They're completely covered with trees, different types of trees. Over there, you see all kinds of popple growing. There's still some red cedar on that hillside there. But this is the exact picture of where he sat 80 years ago. So it just shows you what happens when you know, it's secondary succession, where you stop, you know, fires, grazing, whatever else to happen, and look what happens to all of the, you know, what can happen to everything else. Now, what will go on is eventually all those trees over there, you know, eventually the oaks and everything else, which love lots of sunlight, are going to be gone, and we're going to get nothing but hard maples that eventually turn into like a Vermont forest. They figure in 200 years it'll be a Vermont maple forest state. One last thing with this one is that you notice, God, I hope you can see this stuff. If I zoom in, I swear it's going to go freaky. Maybe it didn't. I can't tell because of stupid sunlight. So anyway, you see all kinds of those evergreens over there. Those are red cedars, and those are very native to Wisconsin. Those are actually in the picture. Some of those are in the picture that, you know, I showed you before with my dad. They're still there. And you notice that they're all on the south side of the hills. That I'm looking north, and those hill slopes are facing south. And if I look over here, I look on that hill behind me. I don't know if the sun. Those are all hardwoods. And there's very few. They're all deciduous. There's not a single red cedar on that side of the hill because it's facing north. Now, reason being is because it's facing north, not a lot of sunlight. Moisture stays there, and the humus buildup is crazy huge. And the moisture content, and you get a lot of your deciduous trees that love that will stay on that side. And now if you go to the other side over here, if you look, oh, I hope that's not fuzzy. I think it is. Is that you see over there, those evergreens, the red cedars, they can handle really, really dry conditions. And so that is, again, why if you go all the way, oh, you look all the way over there, tons of them behind my brother's house. Tons of evergreens are red cedars, even some white pine way down there. But if you go down along Highway 19 towards Wanakee, you're going to notice it's exactly the same way. And actually, even to the point where it's so dry, there's no trees on it. Just the grasses can grow, and then there's no humus. So anyway, that's the basic idea that I'm after with this whole succession thing and what can happen with a variety of trees. I mean, there'd be tons. When I was in college, we'd go and we'd do tree quadrating and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, it was kind of cool to get out there and see what all different types of trees were there. Now, while we're at it, hey, I got the family book here. You guys want to see? She put a couple pictures. You want to see Mr. Marks when he's a baby? Okay, right. Check out fat cheeks right there. That's me. Right there. There's my brother's butt cheeks in a wash tub. That's Roxbury swimming pool. And then I think here's another one here. We had a good life growing up. There's me on the right playing with the chicks and the baby kitties or whatever else on the lawn. Anyway, yeah, there's really cool pictures in here. My brother won the punt passing trip. Anyway, it never ends. I can show you all kinds of pictures. Last thing, hey, crossing over to social studies. Check out my ride. All right. Now, most people normally, what they'll do is if they live in the country, they get a four-wheeler or they'll get a, you know, like a Polaris, what do you got, you know, all-terrain, everything. I don't know the name of the darn things. Nope, not me. I got to go old school. What you're looking at is a 1946 Willys Jeep, civilian model. This is an exact replica of the World War II Jeep that was developed. They put out a contract to all the manufacturers, auto manufacturers in the beginning of World War II. Actually, it's just before the war. And the Willys Overland Company came up with the idea of this Jeep. I'm telling you, these are one of the coolest vehicles on planet Earth. Oh my God. It will go anywhere. That hill over there, I'm not kidding. It would climb straight up the face of that. They go anywhere, four-wheel drive. Loved them so much that when the Germans would catch them, they'd use them throughout the war. And they were so popular, the American troops said after the war, they started making them for civilian use. And so this is a civilian model my dad bought, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago to get around the farm with. That was before, he wasn't going to drive the dang four-wheeler. He's too cool for that. So he bought this thing, and it works extremely well. And I took it over. And, yeah, everybody's like, oh, why do you get the Jeep? Okay, or whatever. You try fixing this darn thing. But anyway, I'm just going to drive a little bit with it because it's kind of cool. Let's see if I can do some donies. Listen to that baby purr. Yes. Dog, get out of the way, I'm gonna run you over. All right. Woohoo! Anyway, it will go anywhere, anytime right now. I got it in four-wheel drive because there's mud all over the place. Oh, and by the way, there's my house. And right there is where I grew up, milking cows. So yeah, this is I guess somebody's ever wondering about a little farmstead, so that's where I live, take all my videos and so on and so on. So anyway, hopefully you got something out of this. I'll post this and hopefully got our forestry stuff all wrapped up. Okay, bye.